See this? This is from our no toes. That's the tendinous material on these. These were built and structured, and I'm almost 100% sure somebody manufactured them. And they have pins and springs and latches and all kinds of things, and you'll see it in a minute. That is the red bloody stuff, and this has tendons that look like they clamp on both sides. They had springs in the feet. Let's take a look at that. Alright, most people know what feet look like. However, these are also feet, and they have the same bone back here, and they had a tibia and a fibia, a little one that came up like that. This is exactly where the blood vessels are in our feet. They run right across there. The toes are inside here. The arch is under there. This is when they start to erode. They still, the toes are in here. The toes are in there. Now, but what's in front of, behind the toes, instead of tendons that went up, they have these springs. You see these springs here? And I showed you in the other foot. You see that ball right there? Hold on, let me see if I can bring this closer. All right, you see that? That ball back there, that's the calcaneus, right there. It's the heel bone. You see that strap going up there? That's this strap right here. That's that tendon. See it? You see this right here? That's the saddle. Right there where this bone comes down and sits in that saddle. And then you have the fibia that hangs off the other side. That would be right here. Same thing here. All right, you see? Now, she has she's got a ton of these. I have a ton of them too. They're all over the place. Everybody's got them. All kinds of people. But hers are in such an absolutely fabulous condition that I can see every little bit of detail. I can see springs and how the structure of the springs come back and how the bumpers meet, and there's actually little tabs. Hold on, let me just see if I can show you something quick. All right, this will make it a little clearer. That is the calcaneus. Remember the strap that comes up. This at the top is where the saddle is. The bone sits down on there. That strap went up to attach to that bone to keep it pulled down. Now, in addition to that, we have the springs. Now, the toes of the no toes would be in the front. They're just little stubby toes. And they push, if you stepped on your toes, on the tips of your toes to make your toes go up like that, that goes up. When that goes up, this twists like this. When it twists, you see this right here? This twisting motion pulls this tab, and there's a coil that comes around up to this tab, and it pulls it in. This has room to compress and come in. So we're loading this spring, which is this one, and there's the bumper material in between them so that it doesn't slam up against this one here. I mean, it's nicely made. So here this one comes up, and it bumps up against here. At the same time, because this is twisting, this is pulling in, this pulls in here against this, which creates pressure here, which lets your foot twist up like this, or I'm sorry, you hit like here, well, you're here like this, you hit your toes, and then you get all this pressure built up, and and then it flattens back out. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you see what I'm talking about. And there's another latch back here that does something. She's got them in so many different, she's got them decayed in like at least 5 or 6 different depths of decay. Absolutely unbelievable. And here's, I got to tell you, I'm not kidding you, this is an absolute fact. Her husband saw a video I did that says anybody can walk out in 15 minutes and find mud fossils. Absolutely guaranteed. She did it, and in 15 minutes she came back with about a half a dozen feet. I'm not kidding you. Tish, tell him. Now check this out. This is some of hers. She's got a whole ton of these things. Now, this looks like a damn wing nut. And they had pads on them, huge pads. And the pad is totally different than the other part of the feet. It's like a rubbery, I think it's called gumite. I'm serious. Now, hers are eroded. Hers were in a condition that ate into them. Mine are like, it looks like a shoe. And as a matter of fact, when I first found it, you see that circle there? I don't know if that should be. Can you see that? Hold on. You see that circle and that little button-looking thing? I thought it was a medallion on the front. I said, "Wow, the guy's got a shoe on." But I don't think it is. Well, I know it's not a shoe. Well, I don't think it's a shoe. But because there's the blood of the. It's not a shoe. It's the foot now, and right there is where the fibula came down. So you got your tibia right here. You see that, like right there? I put my finger in that. That's where the bone is. And I've looked at it with the microscope. It's the bone. That's where the bone was, right there. And then the other one came down along the side here. And then that's the tip of it. And the blood runs right there. It's just exactly identical to ours. Now, you see this would have had a bigger pad on the bottom. They were huge, but you see that spot right there? That one right there is, I think, the same as that one right there. Only the whole entire pad's missing on this one. And mine's just a little, mine is, see right there? Right there, but these damn things are heavy. Okay, anyway, that's oh, here, look at this. Check this out. You see, that right there is a heavy blood spot. Right there's exactly the same place. Right there. Now, there's a lot of work to do here. This is a whole new science. Why don't they want to embrace this? It kills me. I just can't understand it. Here they are, universities selling truth. You have to come here to be educated. You're begging them to take your money so they can tell you what to say. And you have to say what they tell you. If you don't say exactly what they tell you, they fail you. That doesn't seem like much of an education to me. You know what I mean? If you go in there and you say this is a goose, they're going to say, quack, 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 get out of here, you're a quack. And that is a goose, my friend. I haven't seen too many rocks with feathers and eyeballs and beaks in them. And you can see the neck and everything. If you all you got to do is pay it a little bit of attention. Everything's here. Everything died laying like this. And they all died in a flood, I believe. Because everything's flat on one side, and you can't really tell much at all on that side. This side here has got all the articulation. You can see it had to die laying like this because the neck comes down here and it's snapped off here. And they all have the same, hold on. You see this here? That's the lung. I've shown it 10 zillion times. But you see that flat? You see how flat that is? Flat as a pancake. Died laying like this and in a flood. And in a saltwater flood, and the salt content was just enough to keep it from getting totally destroyed, but to allow enough aqueous invasion, watery invasion of chemistry to stabilize the tissues, and then it had to dry out, and then it had to be flushed with clean water, just as a natural process of the water and the rain and so forth. But it had to be in a saltwater flood. Same thing with that. They're all the same. And I have zillions of them. So I have other guys that I've been working with, like Tyson's. All his stuff is destroyed from salt because he's right on the ocean. Now I'm inland, and my stuff is muddy mud fossils. His stuff is salty mud fossils. It's a little bit different. All right, I showed you the other foot. That's what our foot looks like. This is the tibia, and that's the fibula. This little thing just lays on the side, and that's the one that sits in the saddle that I talked about.